One more video that I have to film today, and I had 12 minutes to do it before going live here. I'm like, I don't want to rush it. So we're doing this live, it'll be great. And then I got one more video to finish, and then the rest of my afternoon will be kind of strategy, changing my I don't know, just ideas. So I usually spend the morning creating content. Evan Tinsman in the house, welcome man. Soulful lifting, welcome up. We got movement makers in the house, it's great. Just found out you're from Toronto? Yes, sir. Lad Tube from Toronto, born and raised. I spend my mornings. I think having one day to do content creation is really important, or an afternoon, or a day per month. Because I think content creation often falls to the wayside. There's always something more important. There's always some emergency. There's always something that comes up. There's always, you look at your calendar. There's always something that's going to pop up, and then you hope there's time, right? Let's hope there's time. This week I'm going to film a video or whatever. And then you just don't do it because something else always takes priority. So how do you fix that? Well, you block it off in your calendar, right? You have to say, on this day, I am making content to make sure that it gets out there. Otherwise you won't do it. So that's Tuesdays for me. So the mornings I spend making content, filming videos, and I almost got it done. There was one left. Okay, later on this afternoon I'm going to do it. And in the afternoons I spend the time, strategy, analytics, new ideas. One of the new things that I'm doing that I just filmed was good deed of the day instead of the question of the day. So on my Espresso channel, my morning motivation channel, I usually do question of the day. Like, what was your biggest takeaway? Put it down below, your plan of action. And I switched it for this week to good deed of the day, where it's share down below what you're working on, what you need help with. And then part 2 is go try to support somebody else in the comments. It might be a connection, might be an idea, might be some wisdom, or it just might be, hey, I believe in you. Sometimes just some words of encouragement can make a big difference between somebody quitting or keep going. So we'll test it out. Those are the kind of things, like when you have a day dedicated to think about things, you'll come up with great ideas. If you're constantly responding to chaos and all over the place, your next great idea doesn't come. So anyway, good deed of the day. Okay, let's go. We're gonna do some Q&A. Let's see what we got. Maybe do some lives. Let's see what happens. You got some questions, pop it down below, and we'll see how it can help. Let's see, what do we got? First up is Real Lutkarsh. Wow, I am butchering that name. I apologize. I'm 16 years old right now and I have my own company. How should I promote my organization? So rule number 1 is you got to be where your customers are. So where are your customers hanging out? You need to go be there. So I don't know what your company does. The fact that you're 16 doesn't really matter. I started my first company, my first real company when I was 19. My first business, I guess, when I was 12. But you need to start hanging out where your customers are. So where are they physically hanging out? Where are they virtually hanging out? And you need to be there. You need to be helping them. And by giving them value, what they're going to do is go check out your profile, go check out what you're doing and say, how can I hire this person? Be where your customers are. This is marketing 101. Cool. Hopefully that helps. And again, guys, the more specific you are too, the more it can help as well. Do you know the country Kyrgyzstan in Middle Asia? I've never been to Kyrgyzstan. I don't know much about it, but I don't know much about most countries, so don't take it personally. I know about entrepreneurship. Very few things I know a lot about, and most things I know zero about. So I know a lot about entrepreneurship. I know a lot about League of Legends. I know a lot about salsa dancing. And that's pretty much it. Other stuff I don't know much about. YouTube, I guess. But otherwise I don't know much. Cool. What else we got? Sorry for my English. I'm from Belarus. I love your work, I believe. Thanks. Hey, I love it. Thanks for... Never be sorry. This might be a Canadian thing that we need to work on too. We say sorry a lot, even if we're not actually sorry. It's like somebody did you a harm and then you say sorry, right? Like, do you actually mean that you're sorry? Like, think about it. Are you actually sorry? You shouldn't be sorry that I celebrate you. I love that you're voicing up. I love that you're trying. I love that it's not your first language and you're going to share. That's great. That's not anything to be sorry for. And just, watch the words that you use, because They're really important. How you talk to yourself really matters. Geckham75, what's your favorite advice from successful people from your channel? It always comes back to belief. It always comes back to belief. It always comes back to belief, right? Like you just don't really believe that you can do the next thing. Every major breakthrough I've had in my business came from me breaking through another level of belief, right? So you could say you want to do those things. You can have a plan to do those things, but you don't execute on them. You're not doing it. Why? Because you don't believe that you could actually do it. That's the problem. And so that's why I still make all the content that I do. That's why I still need it myself, because I don't believe in myself for the next level. I believe in everything I've done, but to get to the next level, I don't believe. So I need to be around people who are doing it, right? I want to be around Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey and all these people, because I don't know them personally. I'm not hanging with Oprah. I can't call her up and say, Oprah, give me some belief. So I get it through the videos. I get it through the content. And the more that you're around it, through videos, also through environment, right? Like Steve Jobs and all these people, like this environment means something to me. They slowly pull you forward, because otherwise the people around you right now keep you where you are. Your environment right now keeps you where you are. So it's that belief that you can do something more, and not just a one-off, right? The next problem is the consistency in the belief. Because you can believe for one day. You could have a great seminar or event or conversation, or watch a great video, or read a great book, or listen to a podcast, or be on an IG live and say, I believe, I'm ready. And then what happens? Tomorrow you wake up and you're back to square one again. And so it's this kind of start and stop and start and stop and start and stop that a lot of entrepreneurs go through. And without the consistency in the belief, which leads to the consistency in the action, nothing ends up happening. Cool. What else we got? We got Xenia Coaching. Just want to show some love. Thank you for what you do. Hey, thank you, Xenia Coaching. That's awesome. I like that profile picture too. It's great. Thank you for stopping in. I love it. Ronopoly. How to know when to keep working towards a goal and when to pivot to go for something new. Okay, so big decisions in your life with your heart and small ones with the head. Big decisions in life with your heart, right? Your heart, and small ones with the head. Too many people are only thinking strategic, and you don't actually love the thing. If you don't love it, you're going to lose. The number one rule for success from all the people I profiled is they love the work. They love the process. I'm here because I like this. This is fun for me. For some people, doing Instagram is a strategy. It's great. I like it. This is fun. I like making YouTube. How have I made 12,000 or something YouTube videos? Because I like it. You're going to quit if you don't love it. So do you still love the thing or not? That's the very first question you have to ask yourself. Do you still love the actual work? Not just where you're trying to get, not just love the life that you want to create for yourself, but do you actually love the process? Do you love the work? And if it's no, if I'll do whatever it takes, you won't do whatever it takes. You're going to quit when it gets hard, and you're going up against people who actually love it. So if you still love it, then you have to keep going. Maybe you have to pivot your strategy. Maybe you need to take a job part-time. Maybe you need to do something else for a little bit, but you have to keep going. Because if you love something, if you love it, and you quit now, you will regret that decision your entire life. You're going to look back on your life and say, I wish back in 2021 I didn't quit. I had a chance and I was too afraid and I quit, and I hate that about myself, right? Like, you will regret it if you love it and you quit now. But if you don't love it, then you move on instantly, because you're never going to win doing something that you hate. Tariq in the house, talking about good vibes. Tariq is always bringing the good vibes. We love you, man. Welcome. Okay, what else we got? BX Azrael. Any tips for slow learners? Because I've observed myself sincerely, and yes, I'm a slow learner. Okay, you have to figure out your learning style. It's super important. I always thought I was a really slow learner. I didn't do well in school. I didn't fail in school. I mean, I put in effort, but I was a B and C student for most of my school years, when my sisters were all kind of getting straight A's, and I always felt dumb. I tell some of the story on my website. Just always felt dumb. Always felt super slow. I would read books, and Have you ever read a book and then you read like 10 pages of the book and then you realize, I don't even understand what I read, and you have to go back and read the 10 pages again? That would happen to me all the time. I would look at books and look at how many pages are left in the chapter. And if it was 40 pages left in the chapter, I would stress out. Like, oh my gosh, 40 pages. I don't want to read those 40 pages. It's part of the reason why I made Built to Serve so easy, right? Every page, there's pictures, there's every page, you flip the page, it's another chapter. Headline, chapter, right? I fought with my publisher so much to have this format because I felt like I sucked at being able to learn from books. And I mean, a lot of people are great at it. A lot of people, how you get your number one learning, and you can read a really dense book and it just hits. For me, I always felt like a dummy. There's the, what's the expression of, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you're going to think it's an idiot, right? Like, you don't judge a fish by how it can climb a tree. You judge a fish by how it can swim. So the key thing is figuring out how you learn. As bad as I am at learning from books, I'm even worse in audio only. I listen to 0 podcasts. 0. Not because there's not great information, because audio is the hardest way for me to learn. If I'm listening to something and I'm trying to learn, I have to shut off everything, total focus, close my eyes, put my hands on my ears, and really pay attention to the words, because it feels like it comes in one ear and out the other. When it's audio only. And I have friends, Mark Jager comes to mind, who loves audio. It's like audio is the game for him, right? And so this is about hacking your learning style. I learn best when I can see it. I'm very visual. I need to actually see the thing. So that's where, when I discovered things like YouTube, I picked things up so much faster. And then I wanted to create for other people who are like me as well. If I'm trying to learn something, I'd much rather see it. I'll go to YouTube first instead of trying to find the book on it, or definitely instead of trying to find a podcast on it. And if I can see the thing happen, then it gives me, like 100 times faster for me to be able to go off and do it. So step number 1 here is, don't worry if you're a slow learner or not. Hack your learning style. How do you learn best? And the good news is, in 2021, however you learn best, there's resources for you. You know, I don't know how old you are. When I was in school, I'm 41 now, so go back. When I was in high school or university, there was no internet. You couldn't learn. There was no YouTube. There were no videos that you can learn from. So you had to learn from books. Now, whatever you want to learn, if you want to learn any kind of skill, there are teachers on all the platforms to help you. There's teachers on YouTube that will help you. There's teachers in books that will help you. There's teachers on audio and in Clubhouse and podcasts that will help you. There's teachers out there who will help you. You can hack that very easily. And on some platforms, I'm 100 times faster learning from video than from audio. 100 times, maybe more. 100 times faster. So I don't care if I'm a slow learner through audio. I'm going to stop that. I'll stop it. Unless I just really need to. So like A.P. Giannini, right? My favorite entrepreneur of all time. There are no videos of him. It doesn't exist. It was before video time came out. So if I want to learn from him, I have to read books. So I force myself to read the book because I want the knowledge. But for the most part, everything that you want to learn, there's content out there that will help you. Don't try to be the fish climbing a tree. Go swim. Evan, you're the best in Puerto Rico. Much love. Puerto Rico is tons of fun. I love Puerto Rico. I love salsa dancing, so Puerto Rico is it's such a small city too. Anyway, I love Puerto Rico. What do we got? Hey, my left eye also twitches like that automatically for no reason. Yeah, I've got a number of nervous tics. They used to be a lot worse. I went to go see doctors for it. Mostly when I'm thinking. So when I'm thinking, you might see my eye twitch or you might see my ears move. See that? I do that just naturally when I'm thinking through something. I'll also fidget with my ring a lot. I'll play with my ring a lot or have something in my hands that I like to play with. It used to be much more noticeable, and I used to be embarrassed by it and used to try to hide it. I had a whole bunch of weird things. Like I think I have some kind of mild Tourette's. I would do like things with my face, that like with my mouth, and put them in weird positions. I couldn't step on lines. I remember when I was a kid and I was on a crosswalk or like a sidewalk, and I wouldn't want to step on the lines. If I did, I had to step on like equal number of lines on both feet. All sorts of weird stuff. And the more that I just embraced it, it's like, hey, I don't know, it helps me think. Then it actually became a little reduced. Like I didn't do them as much because I wasn't as worried, I guess. So the more nervous about it I got, the worse they seemed to get. So now it's pretty much just the eye every now and then and the ears moving as I'm thinking. And it's honestly a good thing, you know. Like when I notice it happening, it means I'm thinking. So that's a good thing. Anyway, much love. I don't think I've ever even shared that story. So thank you for Diabolical Nerd for sharing. Gekem75, have you ever met some great people like Jobs, Musk, etc. in real life? So at the beginning, no. You know, at the beginning, I just wanted to learn from them, and so researching their story and watching their videos pushed me forward. Over time, I got to know and meet a bunch of them. I've never met Steve Jobs, obviously, and now I'm never going to. Elon Musk, I haven't met. Tony Robbins, I have. Brendon Burchard, I have. Mel Robbins, I have. So it's been this slow, like maybe 99% of the people at the beginning I'd never met, and now I'm slowly meeting more and more of them. And it's fun to hang out, and some of them I can call my friends now as we continue to grow and scale and build together. And that's just what happens when you are in something long enough, right? I've been doing this for 20 years, not just on YouTube, but helping entrepreneurs for 20 years. That's half my life. And so you slowly start to make more connections. And Tony Robbins is probably the biggest first person that I met. I had him on my channel twice, and then he invited me to his events, and we hung out backstage. But I'm not like buddy with Tony and calling him up every week and asking for advice. But some other people I can, and it's been a huge blessing. It's been wild to see people that you respect and admire and profile, and now they're in your phone, and you can call them and ask for help if you need to. What else? So many questions. Please start a YouTube channel, Evan. If you have noticed, I'm in your every live video and I'm inspired. Please start you want me to start a YouTube channel? It's a great idea. I should have thought of that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Right? Thank you for the love. I need to start a YouTube channel. That's fantastic. Okay, what else we got? I'm a degree student and planning to start an e-commerce company. Didn't get a starting point. So it gets a little more context. Like what are you struggling with the e-commerce? I mean, the biggest thing that people fail with when they're like, e-commerce is just a business model, and there's tons of business models, right? E-commerce can definitely work. The problem with most e-commerce people when they start up is they don't actually care about the product. Like more than the business model is the actual love for the thing that you're doing. So do you love the product or service you're creating? And most people know there's no story. Like you need to buy something and sell it that you would feel comfortable recommending to your mom. And this is why a lot of e-commerce stores fail. This is why a lot of network marketing fails, because you don't actually care about the thing that you're selling. There's no connection to it, so you lose. But there's nothing inherently wrong with e-commerce or network marketing or most of the businesses that people pick. The problem is you're just chasing opportunity as opposed to having a story you can tell about the product that you're using. If you would not recommend the product or service that you're selling to your mom if she needed it, then move on and start a different business. Make sense? You like into YouTube stuff? Yeah, I should start a YouTube channel. Okay, what else we got? Best thing about sadness, it forces presence. You know, when you're sad, you're really in the present moment. You're not You're not thinking about anything else. You're just kind of, you're present, which is great. It's a good skill to practice. Just now, how can you shift it? And I think understanding the reason for the sadness is really, 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 really important. So if you're feeling sad because of grief, then I think you just have to feel it. You know, grief is not something you can rush or force your way through. Grief is the one negative emotion that I think just has to be felt. You know, last year we lost my sister-in-law to cancer, 40 years old, 3 kids, so it was rough. We lost our family dog of, you know, a decade. That was really hard. And fortunately, everybody else is safe and happy. But that's just stuff you have to feel, you know? You just go through it, and you get a little bit better every day. And if you need to share, or you need to, I think the biggest thing is just not being alone through the process, to have somebody you can talk to about it. Even if you're sharing on social that you're struggling. You know, when my dog passed away, I've made videos, guys, through everything. I've made videos through my broken neck, through concussion. Like, I've made videos from hospital beds. I've made video from everything. But when my dog died, my family dog of over a decade, it was the 1 week in the past 8 years maybe where I didn't make a video. We still uploaded content, but my part wasn't in it. And we pulled stuff from the vault because I just couldn't film. And so we had something at the intro about my family dog dying, and maybe that sounds silly, but for, you know, the dog, Toby was family. And so I just couldn't film. And that happens, you know, when you have grief, that happens. Everything else, though, I want to get through as quickly as possible. Like if you're sad because you're jealous, if you're sad because your launch didn't go well, if you're sad because somebody else is doing better than you, if you're sad because only 8 people saw your last video, right? Like if that's why you're sad, those are not good enough reasons to be sad. I want to move through any other negative emotion besides grief. I want to get out of as soon as possible. You feel it. It's not that it's not going to happen. You'll have moments where you feel jealous. You'll have moments where you feel not good enough. You'll have moments where you feel afraid. You have for sure, you have those moments. So you feel it, but you just can't sit in those things for too long. You know, you don't want to sit in jealousy for weeks. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't help you. So what's the source of the sadness? If it's grief, then you just work through it. And if it's not, then as soon as you can, you want to move out. What else? Have you any advice for third world countries like mine? How can we pursue our passion? It's never been easier. You know, like stop blaming your country as the reason why you can't be successful. It's never been easier. You have the internet. You have the internet. People don't care where you're from. All they care about is, can you help them? So your immediate goal needs to be, how can you start bringing value to people? Entrepreneurship, at the end of the day, the entrepreneur success formula is just about how can you do what you love and bring value to other people. Do what you love and bring value to other people. In that intersection, that's how you win. Most people, it's very simple and it's very powerful, but most people, they don't grasp it, and that's why your business is failing. It's either one, because you're not doing something that you love and you're just chasing opportunity, you've lost already. If you're just chasing opportunity, it's game over, you've lost. You have to love it. But then there are other people who love what they do, but they never figure out how to turn it into a business. They never figure out how to bring value to other people. So you've got a hobby. You know, if you love doing something, it fills you up. It's a hobby. And it's a really fulfilling hobby, but it's now you're forced to get a job or do something to pay the bills because you can only do your hobby in the evenings and weekends. What do you love doing with what brings value to other people? It's the entrepreneur success formula. It doesn't matter what country you're from. Just got to figure out how to bring value. Okay, let's get to one more. What do we got? So many questions. What do we got? Oops. You're actually looking so young, like at least 40, not 41. All right. Hey, we'll take it. I never even remember how old I am. I have to remember I was born in 1980. So I always have to say, what year is it? Guys, I don't even know what year it is. I wake up, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what year it is. I don't know what month it is. I don't fill my head with things that don't matter. People would make fun of me and say I have a bad memory and I don't remember things, but I don't know how that's relevant. Like I remember the things that I care about. It's very selective memory. I remember that Tariq is awesome. I remember the vibe that Tariq gives is great. Even when he's struggling and suffering, he's still showing up for people. I remember the music that he plays. I remember Tariq dunking basketballs on his Instagram accounts, and just showing love and joy and energy. I remember that. But I don't know what day it is or what year it is. It doesn't matter. This stuff doesn't matter. So how old I am, I have no idea. It just doesn't. How does that help? So I'm 41. I look 40. It's great. Okay, let's do one more. We got time. But how do you know Gary Vee? I connected with Gary. Do I have an example? So let me see if I can show you. I connected with Gary way back when he was doing wine stuff. Okay. So we made a line. Got it here on the wall. We made a line of famous entrepreneur trading cards. I thought entrepreneurs are heroes. Entrepreneurs are heroes. Let's make a line of trading cards because I love baseball cards growing up. And so I asked people, who is your favorite famous entrepreneur of all time and why? And I put them on the back, like the people I connected with, and then who their favorite entrepreneur was on the front. So Gary was picked by somebody and also picked somebody. So his favorite entrepreneur that he said was Vince McMahon, who started the world WWE now. It's WWF at the time. And somebody picked him. I forget who actually picked him. And then we turned these, and when I sold these, and we raised $100,000 plus for charity, for Kiva, to donate to entrepreneurs who are trying to build their business. So Duncan Hines, Seth Godin picked Duncan Hines. And I forget. So there's an entrepreneur who picked all these people. Guy Kawasaki picked Steve Jobs. Jobs isn't on this one. Anyway, so everybody picked somebody. And at the time, everybody was a blogger or vlogger or just had started their channel. And so I reached out to Gary for that. And he said, yeah, happy to be part of it. He had his wine show. And he picked Vince McMahon. No, I mean, I'm not buddy with Gary where I'm connecting with him every week either. But he's going to be on. I'm going to interview him for his book coming up in October, so next month. So stay tuned for that. But that's how I know him. I guess he's been on the show a couple times, and just always trying to support each other on the things that we're doing. So yeah, it just started way back when I was making those lines of entrepreneur cards. Where can I see the cards? You can't anymore. You can't get them anymore. If you look up entrepreneur heroes cards or trading cards, you'll probably find some old references to them, but you can't actually buy packs or anything anymore. So that was a really fun project. That was one of the things that when I told my friends that I was doing it, I was in a mastermind group at the time, and he told me, that's such a distraction. Like, don't do that. You have your business. Why are you making baseball cards for entrepreneurs? It seems like a waste of time. And I said, I don't know, maybe it is a waste of time, but I want to do it. And it led to me connecting with Gary Vee, and it led to me connecting with Seth Godin and Guy Kawasaki and a lot of big people. Like, stop judging the ideas that come to you. I try to turn it around where because I came up with the idea and because the intention is good, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to at least go start it and see what happens. Because Steve Jobs famously said, you can't connect the dots looking forward, right? You never know where things are going to lead. That's led to a multi-year connection with people like Gary and Seth and all sorts of people just because I decided to chase down entrepreneur trading cards. We raised 6 figures for Kiva. It was a lot of good. It was a ton of fun. Distraction project that people told me not to do, right? The idea came to you. Therefore, it is good. Do something about it. I love you guys. Thank you. Back on tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern here, or tonight, I have some time on my live stream. I play Minecraft and take questions. It's easier to, not as many, nobody shows up to that. So it's a lot easier to get me. If you want me to work through a challenge with you or you have questions that I couldn't get answered here, 7 o'clock Eastern, evancarmichael.live for an hour. I'm going to go live and take questions, and you have something I can help you with, show up tonight, and I'll help you out. Much love, guys. Make today count. You got a message. You got to get it out to the world. I'm going to do my part on YouTube. You do your part as well. Let's go change the world together. Believe. I'll see you soon.